How are you getting ready for the challenges that come with being a justice-impacted person? Too often, people go into this system and they just completely outsource all decisions to other people, other forces, thinking they can't do anything to make things better. My name is Michael Santos. I'm the founder of Prison Professors, and I'm here to tell you, you can make things better. You are more important than anyone else to move the needle in this entire process. And it doesn't matter what stage of the proceedings you're in. You may be at the stage where you just found out that you've become the target and you've got to go through an investigation. You may be at the stage where authorities are charging you right now, and you could have some influence on maybe persuading prosecutors to charge you with a lower offense that gives you a lower statutory cap. You may be in a position to influence how the probation officer writes your probation report, pre-sentence investigation report, or how a judge sentences you. And if you go into the criminal justice system, or you're in jail, or you're in prison, you could be making decisions that will influence when you get out, what level of liberty you have when you get out, and what level of success you have in recalibrating your life. Those lessons I learned from leaders, and they helped me cross through 26 years in federal prisons. That's 9,500 days where I served time in prisons of every security level. And through that journey, I learned many lessons that I am determined to share with you, which is the reason we come up with our daily discussions. And today's daily discussion is all about really staying active. It's about exercising, because exercise changes your body. More than that, it changes your mind. And when it changes your mind, it changes your attitude. By changing your attitude, exercises changes your mood. Make fitness a part of your daily ritual, like brushing your teeth. If you exercise every day, you'll feel stronger every day. When you feel stronger, you bolster your commitment to overcoming struggle. Those lessons can help you regardless of where you are in the journey. If you're in the very incipient stages, the beginning stages of your journey, you may feel so despondent that it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. But you've got to muster the strength. You've got to believe that you can do it. And you've got to know that when you're staying active, you are building something stronger. Let's turn to today's lesson and talk a little bit more about it when we get to the other side of the lesson. As evidenced by the bad decisions of my youth, I lacked discipline as a young man. Prison changed my mindset. I learned the importance of being active. Staying active helped to boost my self-esteem and get me on track toward a better life. I am convinced that a dynamic and an active adjustment helps anyone work toward conquering struggles. A person must become comfortable with being uncomfortable, knowing that the capacity exists within each of us to adjust. I served about 12 months in a county jail before the U.S. Marshals transferred me to a high-security penitentiary. While in jail, we were locked in a pod without fresh air. Once I got to prison, I could step outside and enjoy a recreation yard. In my early 20s, at the start of my sentence, I kept active with weight training exercises. By working out every day, I had goals to work toward. My friends and I aspired to build strength and size. We measured our progress with the bench press, always aspiring to build up to 3 plates on the bar, pressing 315 pounds. Others in prison had Herculean strength, capable of pressing 4 plates or 405 pounds for multiple repetitions. As the years passed, my routine changed. By the time I reached my early 30s, I switched up my exercise routine. Instead of devoting so much energy to weights, I incorporated more running and bar work into the exercise routine. Running helped me feel active and unrestricted. I could listen to music or talk radio as I ran loops around the track. I increased my distances, advancing from 5 miles to 10 to 20 miles. Those runs fortified my spirit, empowering me to make it through a long sentence. When I moved into my mid-40s, authorities transferred me to a minimum security camp. I made friends with Greg Reyes, a former CEO who served time for a white-collar crime. We became close friends. Before surrendering to the camp, the stress of going through the criminal justice system traumatized Greg. He gained 100 pounds. Greg and I began running together. The encouragement helped him run a 5-mile distance for the first time. A few months later, we ran 10 miles. While talking one day, Greg told me that he'd like to run a marathon distance. I invited him to run a marathon with me that weekend. He laughed, telling me that people had to train to run a marathon distance. A person who didn't serve time in prison might follow that guidance. I didn't. As people in prison, I suggested we could chart our own course. That weekend, we ran 15 miles together. The run went so well that we agreed to run 26.2 miles the following weekend. Up until that time, in the spring of 2011, I had never run a marathon distance. I'd run 20 miles on several occasions, but never 26.2 miles. Running that distance with my friend Greg brought me a sense of liberty. We empower ourselves when we work to empower others. Staying active strengthened my mind as I worked through the final phase of my sentence. After we completed the first marathon, I started running much longer distances. I ran daily, typically logging between 300 and 400 miles each month. Before transitioning to a halfway house, I ran 700 miles in my final month. Staying active, I have found, could help me build strength. How do you view the power of staying active? In what ways would staying active influence your mindset? How do you measure your activity level? What would the term being intellectually active mean to you? In what ways does working toward a goal with a friend influence your adjustment? The word of the day is fortify. Define fortify. Use fortify in a sentence. These lessons, I hope, are giving you a roadmap, are giving you an example of how you could use your time inside to begin preparing for something better. And it doesn't matter what stage of the journey you're in. You may just have gotten arrested. You may be sitting inside of a jail in pretrial detention. You may be on your way out of jail or prison. It doesn't matter. It's never too early and it's never too late to start building a pathway toward a better life. I found that to be accurate as soon as I got the lesson, and I didn't come up with that lesson on my own. It all started by reading stories of other people who have gone through enormous challenges. Steve Jobs, the great American executive and entrepreneur who is the founder of Apple and among many other companies, used to say that a good artist copies ideas, but a great artist steals ideas. While going through 26 years in prison, I stole ideas from great leaders. Those leaders are the ones who taught me that no one should work harder than I work for my success. And it's why I'll say nobody knows how hard I worked while I was in prison to become successful. The challenge for me is I didn't even get this message until a judge had already sentenced me to 45 years in prison. But I didn't give up. It wasn't too late. I served every day of that 45-year sentence. I did get time off for good, what's called good time, right, which is really the avoidance of bad time. And that's the reason that I served 26 years. But I never gave up. I don't want you to give up. I want you to believe in yourself and to know that you have the power within to grow stronger. You have the power within to build a pathway to a better life. And I know that very few people serve sentences as long as I served. There are many people serving life sentences, but in today's era, opportunities exist to influence that day. Opportunities exist to build an extraordinary and a compelling release plan that will influence a judge or maybe even the system itself to say, you don't belong in prison anymore. Go build a better life. I want to help you do that. Our entire team at Prison Professors wants to help you do that. And that's why we publish new content every day without any charge to any justice-impacted person. You've just got to invest the time. You've got to invest the energy. And you can put yourself on a pathway toward a better outcome. So if you're listening on iTunes or watching on YouTube, I ask that you visit our website, subscribe to our channels, and stay active as a member of our community. But if you're in jail or prison, work through our programs. Make sure that you are working to get the best outcome for you. My name is Michael Santos. I'm the founder of Prison Professors, and I believe in you.